Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's album review is on the 1991 album by Electronic called Electronic. This is a big review for me. I have a lot of memories with this album, and I really do like this album, and it was interesting to actually review it. I actually ended up reviewing it probably score-wise a little bit higher than I even thought it was, and I really enjoy this album. I got a lot to say about this album, so hopefully this won't be too long of a video, but it may be. When Getting Away With It came out in 1990, I think it was March of 1990, actually like a month before Enjoy the Silence came out. It was a great time for electronic music, for new wave music that year in 1990. Some great albums. And this particular, just why I have it up, this particular sleeve for the maxi single was like, there's only two times where I ever bought it, because they didn't use this for very long. They only used it for 1990, and then went away from this type of cover because it wasn't ideal. It was and it would sort of go in this like sleeve. And thankfully, this one has lasted. But I don't imagine if they broke, then it doesn't even wrap around the cover, right? So it wasn't a very popular design. But strangely enough, it had two of my most favorite singles of all time on this, and it was this and Enjoy the Silence. Enjoy the Silence came out a month after this, in 1990. Man, when I heard this song, what an amazing song. I was such a huge Pet Shop Boys fan then. I was such a huge Smiths fan. I was such a huge New Order fan. And when they came all together, it was like one of the best combinations ever. And then for them to, the first single be as excellent as this, it was just really excited about the opportunity of what's coming next. Very underrated instrumental too, Lucky Bag on the B-side here. Sounds like Best in Marsh, which was which was Round and Round, a single for New Order the year before. And I was huge into Technique. And I'm sure everybody knows this album, especially if you like New Order, but Electronic, this album sounds a lot like Technique. This was the album after Technique. I mean, it makes sense, but in some ways, this is probably the prime example for me for using the 808 drum machine. It's just like 808 bliss, 808 heaven. It's just magic on so many levels. With that machine, like, they just used it so perfectly on this album. So when this single came out, obviously it was. I mean, it was even played on the radio. It did fairly well for a unknown artist, because it wasn't recognized. You obviously when you heard it, oh, that's the guy from Pet Shop Boys. But not everybody said, oh, it's the guy from New Order. But under Electronic, you had to look further and look into it and see who they were. But when this album came out, this single came out, it was just like everybody was so excited about when an album would come out, right? March of 1990. Then nothing. We get tickets for Depeche Mode, Dodger Stadium, August 2004, or August 4th, 1990. Electronic's opening for them. So we're all excited, right? We go up to there, but I don't know any of the songs except for Getting Away With It, right? So they go through their set, announce Pet Shop Boys. They come onto the stage. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was 14 years old, 1990. Just an amazing concert to be at. But don't remember any of the songs, but I remember liking them, but when the album finally did come out, I wasn't like, oh, I remember that song. Like, it was like a blur that whole night. When Electronic came on, I don't remember any of it except for when they said Electronic came on the stage, and then Chris Lowe and Neil Tennant came on as the Pet Shop Boys, and it got the crowd got all crazy, right? But other than that, I don't remember the songs. Month by month, the month went by and nothing. And then I heard on 91X, which is a San Diego radio station, still a great radio station, they played Reality, the second track eventually that was on the album. And I heard it one time on the radio. I was like, oh, is that going to be the next single? And then I heard them play Tighten Up. And I was like, oh, is that the next single? And they might have played it more often than those couple times. But again, nothing. A year went by. I think the album finally came out in like August of like 1991. So almost a year and a half since the first single till the album finally comes out. It was probably the most anticipated album that I can ever remember because it took so long to come out. It was just hinted at for a while, for so long, and then it finally come out. And here's my original cassette, and then my original CD, and then later on I got a copy on vinyl. Um, and so just I'm gonna kind of go through the album. There's a lot to talk about. There's obviously some great dance songs on here. Is that my under quote of the year, right? Getting Away with It, Gangster, Get the Message, Idiot Country, and those are great ones. And there's still some underrated ones. Try All You Want, Reality, Some Distant Memory, and even a Patient of a Saint. So underrated. This album is so underrated. Johnny Marr's riffs with New Order's 808 beats. Just a match made in heaven. Some of the best 808 work in the history of dance music, in my opinion. I know there's some great uses of 808 machine in there, but when it comes to new wave music and synth pop, electronic, this album has it. Um, there's so many good bridges on here. There's so many good intros. There's so many good endings. There's so many good choruses on here. There's so much good layering on here, like the end of Reality, for example. Just so much good music in here. So much good dance music. So much good melodic, rhythmic machine music in here. Just amazing. Um, Going into the tracks, Idiot Country starts off. The change from erratic guitar versus the smooth melodic dance chorus is amazing. Bass line, the strings, the whistle sound as a hook, that sort of loud guitar at the end, and even a smoother bridge. I'm just going to be talking about so many different parts to the songs on this review. You have to bear with me. Idiot Country, 4 stars. Reality, 3.25 stars. The beat and the bass line are so deep. Chorus is so New Order. The music, the last minute is like 808 Bliss. Just great. They must have been in the studio doing these rhythms and these melodic sounds and be like, wow, we nailed it on that one. We nailed it on that one. We nailed it on, like, everyone is just so good. It's just dance music heaven for 1990, 1991, 98. I mean, 1990, 91. Tighten Up is the only really mostly rock sounding song on here. This one's still a lot of dance music, but um, and I wouldn't say because of that, but it's my least favorite song on here, and it's 3 stars. Soviet I did give 2.25 stars, 2.5 stars because of the instrumental, but it's a good instrumental. But of the actual songs, this is my lowest rated song is 3 stars, is Tighten Up. It kind of reminds me of Crystal, if you know the New Order song. Kind of sounds like that a little bit to me. Um, it's a good guitar song. It's a good Smith's guitar, Johnny Marr guitar. It's a good song, but it's kind of hidden in all these kind of melodic dance gems. But I still got 3 stars. Patience of a Saint, 3.5 stars. Cool bass lines. Choruses are nice. Pretty straightforward, but it has some nice moments. It's good to hear Bernard and Neil on a record together. This and, Getting Away with It. The lyrics are pretty basic. Nice melody. Pretty straightforward though, kind of one note, but it is a good song for sure. 3.5 stars. Can't quite say it's 4 stars though. For me, I wouldn't say it's excellent because it is kind of one note. Track number 5, Getting Away with It. What can you say? 5 stars. Just perfect, a perfect pop dance track, perfect new wave track. The bass line, the piano, the strings, the guitar, Bernard and Neil layered on the chorus is great. Like him, like him singing the chorus and Neil Tennant singing behind somebody is like, I mean, Neil. Just think Neil doing backup to somebody else is just in itself, and then it's Bernard Sumner from New Order. It's like mind blown. So great. Flow so smooth, such a great dance track. Classic violins, the way it fades out into the strings at the end, the 808 light conga sounds, you know, the percussion, just magic, so intricate, so perfect. 5 stars all day. And then Gangster comes on too. 4.5 stars. The keyboard, the beat is so dope on here. Key stabs are a bit dated, but the bass line is deadly. The 808 snare is an amazing dance snare. Some of the best lyrics of any electronic song. I really like the lyrics on here about being tough and about yeah, just being tough and trying to be a gangster. I think it's got some really clever lyrics on there. The chorus is awesome. I give Bernard some credit for his songwriting. When a lot of times I slack his songwriting. It's so good to give it. It's so good to give him props here on this album. It's great here. Just a small note: the guitar on Gangster. If you guys remember House of Love with Cindy Crawford, the MTV show, the song they would use going to the breaks and coming back from the breaks was the guitar at the of Gangster. They used that that was a horrible example of impression of it, but they used that on their TV show. I always heard it and I'd be like, oh, that's Gangster. Um, the ending, the last minute or so of Gangster is just dance heaven, dance magic. 4.5 stars. Soviet's good instrumental, 2.5 stars. And I think the last 3 songs are really underrated on the album. You think it kind of like comes down a little bit, or it couldn't get any better, or excuse me, last 4 songs. It couldn't really get any more consistent. It's still is consistent. Get the message. 4 stars. The chorus hook always surprises me how good it is. I don't know where to begin living in sin. Such a great chorus. So catchy. So catchy it's got me singing. That's how catchy it is. And that's the sign of a great album is when you have like the ultimate songs, the songs you automatically think of. For me, it's Getting Away With It, Idiot Country, and Gangster, which are top-notch songs. But then you have other songs that are still like second tier as far as me remembering them, and then they're still 4 stars. Get the message. It's just such a great hook and such a great song. Guitar riff, the beat, the strings, so catchy. Try All You Want is kind of a personal favorite, 3.75 stars. 808 Bliss on here, the chorus, the bridge is amazing. It's always sort of my underrated track on here. 3 minutes and 9 seconds. That particular time, the bells, the keys, the song right there where it starts. Where it sort of goes from there. Just magic. 3.75 stars. Some Distant Memory, 3.5 stars. Chorus is really good. Strings, piano. Feel Every Beat, 3.25 stars. The chorus wins you over. And I forgot to show you. Here's my Feel Every Beat CD single, maxi single. Has some good versions, and the record. The great thing about the electronic singles is you get great B-sides. This one had Lean to the Inside, a really strong instrumental, and Second to the None, which was a really good song. So if you like electronic, especially in this period, get the singles because you'll like the B-sides. Also, I already showed the CD version. I showed Lucky Bad, Getting Away With It. I do have the vinyl on my wall. Get the Message. I wish I had the art version, but I still bought it because my friend had it and it was cheap. but the DNA remixes, the DNA Synmix and the Groove Mix are really cool. But also Free Will. The track Free Will is a really good instrumental. If you guys listen like thieves, or other great New Order sort of instrumental tracks, mostly instrumental tracks, which I think Listen Like Thieves is mostly instrumental, even though it isn't. It's like 2.5 minutes, and then it finally gets to the chorus or gets to the lyrics. But get Free Will on here is really strong instrumental. Check it out. Um, wow, any opportunities on this album? It's a little tiny, a little tinny in the higher range. Could be a little bit more dynamic for 1991, 1990. The lyrics can be a little corny, immature, but that's kind of Bernard Sumner's writing. That's how he is. So the key stabs are a little dated, like an Idiot Country or Gangster or, uh, I think Feel Every Beat has some to it. It kind of has those key stabs that are kind of like really, dun, 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 almost like dun, 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 dun. Oh, there's a song. Oh, I can't think of the song. We make it so hard for ourselves. Who sings that? Pet Shop Boys. Which song is that? Oh, I can't think. Anyways, like, how can you be taken seriously? Has those key stabs. God, it's gonna bother me. What song is that? Whose matches are those? Oh, is that DJ Culture? God, I'm blanking on the name of that song. Oh, God. Was It Worth It sort of has that too, with the strong keyboard sounds, key stabs. Anyways, sometimes the key stabs are little dated in here. But wow, what an amazing album. I got it 41 stars divided by 11, 3.72. I gave it an 87 out of 100. It's right on the high side of excellence. Almost, it's a, if you said dance new wave album, this is, I think electronic is a classic in that genre. Is it an all-time classic regardless of genre? Close, but not quite there. Give it 87 out of 100. What would make it an all-time classic regardless of genre? If they would have waited another year and put out Disappointed on this album. If they included Disappointed on this album would have been a 90. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on this awesome album, Electronic. Um, yeah, I guess that's everything. I feel like I have more to show you from this album, but I do have Getting Away with It on the vinyl on the wall as well. But yeah, definitely get the singles because they have really good remixes and they have really good B sides as well. Um, yeah, all of them have good B sides. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was a fourth single, but I guess Gangster really wasn't put out. But I will say maybe that's why I said it. Um, Track number 3, Gangster, the FBI mix. Hard to. The zoom on here works horrible. Maybe it's. I don't know. There it is. Anyways, FBI mix, third track. It's another reason to get the single. Stephen Hogg produced. FBI mix of Gangsters is awesome, especially if you like the original version. But yeah, that's my overall review on Electronic. I'm surprised I got through this review in 20 minutes. There's so much I could talk about this music, this album, and it's so underrated too. 87 out of 100. Excellent album.